want to score 280 and above in JAMB? At Taraba Business School, we can make your dream come through. Register now for our JAMB and CBT training. Intensive JAMB and WACE coaching classes with experienced teachers is ongoing. You will also be trained on computer-based training, CBT. Visit Taraba Business School today. We are located opposite Civil Service Commission, 183 Hamarua Way, Jalingo, Taraba State. You can call the following numbers for inquiries: 080 602 69140, 070 634 28464, 080 606 60861. Do you want to score 280 and above in JAMB? At Taraba Business School, we can make your dream come through. Register now for our JAMB and CBT training. Intensive JAMB and WACE coaching classes with experienced teachers is ongoing. You will also be trained on computer-based training, CBT. Visit Taraba Business School today. We are located opposite Civil Service Commission, 183 Hamarua Way, Jalingo, Taraba State. You can call the following numbers for inquiries: 080 602 69140, 070 634 28464, 080 606 60861.
Good day and welcome to Som TV Business Daily. I am Moses Peter, and today we bring you the latest developments making headlines across Nigeria's economy, markets, and business world. The National Information Technology Development Agency has issued a cybersecurity advisory warning Nigerians about vulnerabilities in ChatGPT that would expose users to data leakage attacks. The agency's Computer Emergency Readiness and Response Team discovered 7 vulnerabilities affecting GPT-4o and GPT-5 models, allowing attackers to manipulate ChatGPT through indirect prompt injection. The vulnerabilities enable hidden instructions to be placed inside web pages, comments, or URLs, triggering unintended commands during browsing, summarization, or search actions. This could lead to unauthorized actions, unintended exposure of user information, manipulated or misleading outputs, and long-term behavioral changes caused by memory poisoning. NITDA advises users to limit or disable browsing and summarization of untrusted websites and enable features like browsing or memory only when necessary. To stay safe, users should regularly update their GPT-4o and GPT-5 models and be cautious when interacting with untrusted websites. The agency previously warned Nigerians about a critical security flaw affecting embedded SIM, eSIM cards, exposing over 2 billion devices worldwide to risks of intercepted communications, persistent device control, and stale backdoors. The Federal Ministry of Works has terminated the contracts for the Ekim-Odukpani portion of the Calabar-Itu Highway with Raycon Construction Company due to poor performance. Minister of Works, Senator David Umahi, announced this on Saturday, stating that the contractor failed to meet the terms and conditions of the agreement, raising concerns over the company's capacity to complete the project. High-Tech Construction Company will take over the project and is expected to complete the works within 60 days. The government will issue a stop work order and conduct a joint measurement of work completed before awarding the contracts to the new company. The Calabar-Itu Highway has been in a deteriorated state for over a decade, and the government aims to complete the project within the next 2 months. The project was initially awarded to Raycon Construction Company after Julius Berger withdrew due to high pricing. The federal government had approved 185 billion naira for the route reconstruction and dualization funded through a tax credit scheme. The highway is a crucial link between Cross River and Akwa Ibom states, supporting trade and transportation. The European Union has launched a 12 million euros regional initiative to strengthen maritime security in West and Central Africa. The Scope Africa project aims to improve safety, security, and operational performance of major seaports in the region. The 4-year project will focus on selected ports, including Lagos, Nigeria, Lomé, Togo, and Dakar, Senegal. The initiative will enhance port resilience, crisis response capacity, and regional cooperation in maritime security. It will also strengthen compliance with international maritime standards, improve emergency response systems, and boost skills and professional training for port workers. The project is funded by the EU and implemented by Expertise France and Enabel. The Scope Africa program is expected to make ports in the region safer, more competitive, and efficient. It aligns with the EU's Global Gateway strategy and the African Union's priorities. The initiative includes a memorandum of understanding with the Regional Maritime University in Accra to advance professionalization in the maritime and port sectors. The Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise, CPPE, has expressed concerns over the delayed submission of the 2026 to 2028 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework, MTEF, warning that it could undermine legislative scrutiny and weaken the credibility of Nigeria's budget process. The Fiscal Responsibility Act requires the MTEF to be transmitted to the National Assembly at least 4 months before the beginning of a new fiscal year. CPPE acknowledges improvements in the new MTEF, including more cautious revenue and expenditure assumptions. The Federal Executive Council adopted an oil production benchmark of 2.6 million barrels per day and an oil price benchmark of $64 per barrel. However, the organization warns that the reforms do not go far enough, highlighting concerns over crude oil price benchmarks and production volumes. Dr. Muda Yusuf, CEO of CPPE, stresses that strict adherence to the Fiscal Responsibility Act is essential for strengthening fiscal governance, enhancing transparency, and ensuring credible financial planning. The delayed submission places undue pressure on lawmakers and reduces the depth of analysis required for the budget. First City Monument Bank, FCMB, has reported a profit before tax of 134.497 billion naira for the 9 months ended 30 September 2025, representing a 46.2% increase from the 91.83 billion naira posted in the same period last year. The bank's gross earnings grew by 40.89% to 828.128 billion naira, driven by a significant increase in interest income. FCMB's interest income grew by 64% to 734.11 billion naira, primarily due to a 46% growth in interest income from loans and advances to customers. The bank's net interest income stood at 350.83 billion naira, reflecting a 102% year-on-year growth. Non-interest income also increased by 6.21% to 108.01 billion naira, driven by strong growth in fee and commission income. FCMB's total assets grew by 2.52% to 7.23 trillion naira, with customer deposits making up about 61% of total assets. The bank's share price increased by about 4% intraday to 10.90 naira following the release of its results. FCMB began the year with a share price of 9.40 naira and has since gained 16% on that price valuation. The average retail price of diesel in Nigeria rose by 9.45% month-on-month to 1,398.57 naira per litre in October 2025, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS. This marks a notable increase from the 1,277.81 naira per litre recorded in September 2025. However, diesel prices were slightly lower than they were a year earlier, with a 2.96% year-on-year decline. Enugu recorded the highest average price at 1,468.29 naira per litre, followed by Niger at 1,465 naira and Jigawa at 1,437 naira. The lowest prices were recorded in Katsina, 1,301 naira, Edo, 1,307 naira, and Kebbi, 1,308 naira. The Southeast Zone posted the highest regional average at 1,415 naira per litre, while the South-South Zone recorded the lowest at 1,387 naira. The price increase may lead to higher production and logistics costs for businesses, potentially fueling inflationary measures and increasing the cost of living. The wide price gaps between states and regions highlight persistent structural issues in fuel distribution, with some areas bearing higher costs than others. Only 10% of Nigeria's 6 million CSCS accounts are active, says GTI Group CEO. Nigeria Central Securities Clearing System has approximately 6 million investor accounts, but only about 10% are active, according to GTI Group CEO Abubakar Lawan. He made this statement at the Capital Market Correspondents Association of Nigeria (CAMCAN) workshop, emphasizing the need to increase participation in the capital market to help finance the government's $1 trillion target by 2030. Lawal attributed the low participation to a lack of education, limited access, and inadequate products. He noted that Nigeria's young population and digital connectivity present opportunities for growth. The Investment and Securities Act, ISA 2025, provides a framework for widening access and deepening the market. The ISA 2025 recognizes digital assets as securities, legitimizes crowdfunding, and expands eligible issuers. Lawal believes that regulated crowdfunding and new issuance vehicles can channel household savings into long-term infrastructure projects, driving economic growth and unlocking private investment. Nigeria's upstream petroleum sector is facing significant challenges as it gears up for another licensing round, with industry players warning that unresolved structural weaknesses could lead to another disappointing outcome. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission officially commenced the 6-month licensing exercise on December 2nd, targeting $10 billion in new investments and aiming to add 2 billion barrels to national reserves. However, funding, regulations, and forced marriages are undermining confidence in new licenses. Indigenous operators are struggling to raise development capital, and the doubling of royalties under the Petroleum Industry Act has added to the challenges. Additionally, infrastructure access remains a major hurdle, with operators facing stringent technical and financial requirements. The success of the 2025 licensing round depends on whether the government and the NUPRC can implement concrete solutions to these long-standing problems. Industry experts say that without addressing these issues, Nigeria risks another cycle of high-profile license awards that fail to translate into production increases and economic benefits. The federal government has established the National Tax Policy Implementation Committee to guide the implementation of the newly enacted capital gains tax provisions. The committee, chaired by tax expert Joseph Tegbe, aims to ensure transparent guidelines, stakeholder consultation, and minimal market disruption. The move follows engagement with capital market institutions, including the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and Nigerian Exchange Group. The government seeks to balance fiscal objectives with market competitiveness and investor protection. NTPIC's mandate includes steering the implementation process to reinforce confidence among domestic and foreign investors. SEC and NGX Group have pledged collaboration with the committee to support long-term capital market development. The government has assured that implementation will be fair, transparent, and humane, avoiding policies that disrupt market activity or business investment. Nigeria is set to boost its tax revenue through a new tax reform that enforces compliance on value-added tax, VAT, payment on digital payments, software as a service, and online services. The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has introduced a new system that mandates e-invoicing and real-time VAT reporting in assessment of taxes. According to Paulinus Iyika, Assistant Director, FIRS, these tax provisions represent a digital fiscalization milestone. The new reform is expected to significantly increase tax revenue, with about 22.3% of all VAT coming from foreign sources from digital services to foreign companies in second quarter of 2025. This move is part of Nigeria's efforts to expand its tax net and increase revenue. The Nigerian government has been actively working on tax reforms to boost revenue and improve the country's economy. The FIRS is optimistic that the new system will enhance tax compliance and increase revenue for the government. The Miners Association of Nigeria has rejected the proposal by the Northern State Governors Forum to suspend mining activities in northern Nigeria, citing it as misguided. The association argues that insecurity affects all sectors and that grouping legal and illegal mining together is wrong, as only illegal mining fuels crime. The association notes that its members hold valid mineral titles, operate responsibly, and support security agencies and community development projects. A blanket suspension would punish legitimate operators, worsen unemployment, and deepen poverty, ultimately heightening insecurity. The association recalls that a 2019 ban on mining in Zamfara State failed to curb banditry and kidnapping. The association urges northern governors to support mining marshals and security structures to curb illegal mining rather than imposing a suspension. It warns that suspending mining would damage investor confidence and contradict the Constitution, which places mineral resources on the exclusive legislative list. The association calls for sustainable solutions and prays for national peace. The Ibom Deep Seaport project in Akwa Ibom State is nearing realization, with Governor Umo Eno's administration working to secure financing for the $4.2 billion project. The seaport, designed to be a major West Central African transshipment hub, has secured necessary regulatory approvals, including outline business case approval from the Federal Executive Council. The project is expected to significantly boost Nigeria's maritime infrastructure and open up the Gulf of Guinea and Central Africa to sub-regional and international trade. Bolloré Africa Logistics Power China International Group Limited Consortium has been approved as the preferred bidder for the 50-year concession agreement. Governor Eno has been actively mobilizing support for the project, meeting with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and other stakeholders to secure federal backing. The project is seen as a game changer for Akwa Ibom State and Nigeria, with the potential to drive economic growth and development. Nigeria's heavy machinery and industrial equipment market is experiencing steady expansion, driven by infrastructure projects, agriculture, and power generation, despite economic pressures. The sector is characterized by rising demand, rapid digital adoption, and a growing need for reliability. Mantrac Nigeria, the exclusive dealer for Caterpillar equipment, reports increased demand for sophisticated equipment driven by major infrastructure projects and urbanization. The company is promoting eco-friendly equipment and sustainable practices while investing in digital solutions such as telematics and remote monitoring to optimize fleet performance and reduce customer downtime. The recent stabilization of Nigeria's foreign exchange market is expected to improve cost predictability and facilitate capital importation, enabling Mantrac to offer more consistent pricing to customers. The company advocates for policy adjustments, including reliable access to foreign exchange, infrastructure investment, and incentives for local assembly and manufacturing to support sector growth. That wraps up today's edition of SUMP TV Business Daily. Thank you for watching. I am Moses Peter. Join us next time as we continue to bring you trusted business insights and market updates. Goodbye.
Every day begins with a need to move with purpose, to shop without stress, to send without fear, to pay without delay. For every rider chasing time, for every home that needs restocking, for every voice that needs connection, for every dream that needs delivery. Now, one app brings it all together.
Supercab, move smart, ride safe, supermarket, groceries, gadgets, everything. Supercash, airtime, bills, transfers, done. Super logistics, fast, secure, right to your door.
It's more than an app. It's your movement, your market, your money, your connection, all in one place. Supergo, one app for services endless. Download Supergo today. Live free, live fast, live smart.
No time to shop, no stress. With Supergo, your groceries comes to you. We partner with trusted vendors, verified stores, no delay, no excuses, just values. Supergo Supermarket, your market now in your hands. With Supergo, your ride is comfortable, easy, and convenient.
Supergo is more than an app. It's a movement. Moving people, powering trades, delivering value.